Hey, everybody, welcome to the WorkAway Podcast. My name is Jon Hindo, and it's my first time hosting the podcast. So please, if I make a mistake, don't judge me too hard. But I'm very excited as today we have a good friend of mine, Conrad Dickinson, former Dalhousie graduate, Bell Canada marketing, as well as now working at Prime Benefits with the family business. And he's also the founder of the Ottawa Business Club as well. So, Conrad, nice to have you on the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Having me.
Yeah, no worries. Super excited. And again, I mean, we'll get the flow of things. It's my first time hosting, so and I know it's your first time being a guest.
Yes, my first time on a podcast, so thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome, perfect. So, I guess we'll start talking maybe about Dalhousie and the co-op program that you did there. So, looking back now, what made you pick Dalhousie as the school of your choice?
So listen, I love the city of Ottawa. I've lived here most of my life. My friends, my family, they're all, for the most part, in Ottawa. I chose Dalhousie because I wanted to go away for school. I think it's a great university with a university culture embedded in it.
Yeah.
And it has an amazing co-op program as well. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, awesome. And was the co-op program a big factor for you in choosing it?
100%. So if you go to Dalhousie, you end up completing 3 co-op terms before you graduate. I did mine in finance. I worked with the Minto Group in real estate.
Oh, cool.
And then I moved to Toronto and I worked on Axio Financial, which is a finance house on Bay Street in Toronto.
Oh, the Bay Street Beauties, eh?
Bay Street Beauties. And then I worked in the insurance business for my third co-op.
Oh, nice. Oh, so you've had like a really nice mix of your co-ops as well as, industry experience.
100%. So I think that's the beauty of the co-op program is you figure out what you want to do. I started off going into finance. By the end of my third term, I realized that I like finance, but this is not what I want to do as a passion. And I ended up pivoting into marketing, which led me to my next job at Bell Canada.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, looking back now, I mean, hearing all the experiences that you had, do you think that the co-op program was worth it?
I think you learn a lot in any co-op program. I think about my first one, and I know your next question is going to touch on this, but I worked directly with Michael Waters, who's the CEO of the Minto Group.
Oh,
And in this role, I was exposed to a lot in the company. I think he's an amazing leader, and it really challenged me to be the best version of myself. And I learned so much during this co-op, probably more than I would have in any other co-op.
yeah, and I mean, so would you say that working under the CEO was what challenged you most, or what were some of the takeaways from working under him?
I think in any group, if you're working with the leader of the firm, you get to see a number of different facets of the business. And in real estate, and especially with a group like the Minto Group, there's so many different areas. You look at marketing, you look at accounting, finance, HR, you see it all. So
Yeah.
I got exposed to a lot at a young age.
And was it predominantly commercial side that you were working on, or was it the residential side of Minto?
So I was a financial analyst.
Okay.
And it's interesting. So I saw a lot on the finance side, and I also was exposed to a little bit on the marketing side too.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And do you think that the co-op experiences that you've had in these various industries had a big impact on, where you're at today?
I think so. Really, it's a taste for what you're getting into. When you're in university, a lot of people think about it as the next step is getting a job, and you're preparing for that. And if you can get that experience while you're in university, you're already ahead step of the game.
100%. And I mean, personal experience as well. When I graduated, because I took business marketing at Algonquin here in Ottawa,
Yeah.
I did move away for a little bit for school, just like you did, but I majored in party, so I figured it was better for me to come home and have a little bit more focus. And when I left Algonquin, it was such a weird time in the world because it was March 2020, which, as we all know, is when the world shut down. Was when I finished my schooling, and it was, trying to hunt jobs right away was a little bit difficult with that transition period. So how was the transition period for you right after? I know you just touched on it, but was it kind of like an instant, right to work, or did you take some time off, after, all the pressures and, busyness of school, I guess?
I jumped right into it. I was looking for a job in my last year at school. And luckily, I was able to join the Bell Canada team as part of their grad leadership program. and this experience was wonderful as well.
Now that's perfect segue into my next question, which is what was it like jumping into such a big company like Bell Canada? Obviously, we both have the big telco experience.
Yeah.
I was Red Army at Rogers. He was part of the Blue Army at Bell. But why don't you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, Bell and Rogers are two great companies. I think I jumped headfirst into it, and as part of their grad leadership program, it was awesome because they give you lots of support. You learn from some key mentors, and they kind of guide you in your first full-time job out of school.
Yeah.
And they really teach you the ways. So I think that's so critical and something that I recommend to anybody if they can get into a grad leadership program.
And funny enough, at Algonquin too, we had a similar one for Rogers, and that's actually how the guy who landed me my job at Rogers, that's how he got his.
Okay.
On the first place, a buddy of mine, Brendan from school, and so at Rogers, I know they did a bit of a rotation where they had you work in sales with our BDR team for a little bit, then they had us move into operations, and then had them move into, like a customer support role, just to kind of see the different various parts of the big ecosystem that makes these companies so big. So what was your experience like? Was it like that, or does Bell do it a little differently than Rogers?
Yeah, 100%. So I did 3 rotations in the Bell Graduate Leadership Program. I started off in a product marketing role, specializing in IoT.
Oh, nice.
And then as my second role, it was kind of a hybrid between content marketing and events. So I really enjoyed probably content the most.
Yeah.
I think it's a very fascinating space, and a space that's growing a lot in North America and across the world. The event space, obviously, I'm in the Ottawa Business Club. I'm the president of that and founder, and we host events. So I think, this experience at Bell Canada really helped give me a competitive edge with the Ottawa Business Club.
Yeah, and especially, being new out of school, fresh face, it's such a big machine, and becoming a cog in that big machine. Did you find it overwhelming at first, or, how did you find yourself settling in? And talk to me a little bit about that.
Listen, it's a large organization, one of the largest companies in Canada, that's Bell. They have so many different areas of the company. You look at Bell Business, Bell Media, Bell Enterprise, Bell Mobility, and that's just to name a few. It's a large company, but you settle in pretty quickly. I had some really good leaders and mentors at my time at Bell, and I lucked out in that aspect.
Yeah, and I know, especially me jumping into ours over at Rogers, I found for me, and I know everyone's different. For me, it was like, about 6 to 8 months before I really was able to calm down and shake the nerves and really be present, because obviously at first, right, you're new at a big company. It's a big machine where there's so many different moving parts, and I know I'm not the first person to say this, but I will be the first person to say it on this podcast. When you're in a new company like that, learning everything is like trying to drink out of a fire hose, where it's just so much coming at you all the time, and you're trying to absorb everything, and you want to do this and that. You want to talk to this person, that person. You want to talk to the top performers to learn from them, and it can be overwhelming. But I'm really happy to hear that you're able to find your groove, and the leadership portion, I feel, is such an important aspect.
It really is
on that as well.
I had a great leader, Matthew Lepinen at Bell. He was the director of marketing at the time, and when I started, one of the first things he said was, "In your first year at Bell, you just want to be a sponge and absorb it all. You're going to try and learn as much as you can. It's your first time job. You're not expected to know everything, but then you'll get the hang of it. By year 2, you're expected to take on projects and lead them a little bit more." So I found that advice very valuable, and it kind of helped guide me at my time at Bell.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and like I just said, leadership is just it really can make or break you at a big company like that. Whether I had great leadership on my end as well. I learned a lot from my manager and my director at the time, and it really does make or break you at these companies. It's not only about landing in the right role; it's also about the right people, right? Is it a nature versus nurture, right? Are they just gonna throw you to the wolves, or are they gonna help take you under their wing and actually, show you the ropes instead of just saying figure it out? So. I'm really glad about that. So what are some key skills or lessons that you learned in your time there?
I would say like some of the biggest skills I learned, time management. That's a huge one. You have so many different deadlines. We use this project system called Monday.com, and it tracks your projects. You can list them by like the name of the item that you're looking at, the time, the due date, any story notes you have on it. And I found that a very useful tool to help with my time management. But also being efficient at what you're doing. When I was at Bell, I was managing 2 roles, content and events. I had 2 leaders, 2 bosses. And in this role, I was forced to basically stay on top of my priorities with 2 different leaders. Yeah. So it became a hustle and a true grind to get it done.
Well, that's really interesting because I mean, oftentimes we can find ourselves feeling like we're being yanked in 2 different directions. You actually were being yanked in 2 different directions by 2 different people. So that's really interesting.
I learned so much though, being in 2 roles at once, and it gave me so much exposure. So I'm really happy about it. I'm somebody who always likes to do more rather than less.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah, well, you seem like it. I mean, working under 2 different bosses, managing 2 roles, co-founding and being the president of the OBC, Ottawa Business Club as well. You definitely like to take on a lot of projects, that's for sure. Now, has working at a tech giant like Bell changed the way you look at the industry at all?
It's interesting. Obviously, I'm curious about your experience at Rogers too, because it's another tech giant. I think... yeah, for sure. It shaped me to who I am today. I think for the longest time, Bell and Rogers were very similar companies. They were both heavily involved in the internet space. They're involved in Wi-Fi, television. Now you see the acquisition from Rogers for Maple Leaf Sport and Entertainment Group. And
it really is interesting because, I mean, if you look at telco in Canada, we have the big 3, right? You have Bell, you have Rogers, and now TELUS is that new rising star coming up, right? So the way I can look at it is Rogers is very telecom based. Like because I worked in sales for Rogers, right? I didn't work in marketing. I worked in sales in the SMB mid-market space, whatever you want to call it. And I found that we had 5 core projects. We had IoT. We had VoIP or telephony, so like Advantage Voice. We had data center and cloud. We had fiber optic internet. And that was basically it. So very internet-based, very telco-based. Then you have Bell, who is a large, and that's just the side that I worked at on my side. I know we have Sportsnet. I know we have Rogers Cable. There's so many different avenues. Then you have Bell, who is in the similar boat. But from what I understand from some of your AEs who I'm friends with, you weren't in the data center and cloud space. You guys sold off your data centers. So there's a couple of nuances, but they're still in similar spaces. Whereas now you have TELUS, who's this rising star coming out of the east or the west, sorry, because TELUS.
They're massive in the west.
They're massive, and they're the Rogers and the Bell of the West, right? Like they're really the big ones. And one of my best friends, I'm actually going to be at his wedding in 2 weeks. He is an account executive there and is one of the top performers year after year, multiple time President's Club winner. And whenever I talk to him about, the products that he's selling, it's never like fiber or it's, sometimes it's VoIP, sometimes it's cell phones, but a majority of the time TELUS has done a really good job in acquiring other companies, marketing services. They work in the cybersecurity space. So he was working in true mid-market, so that like 500 to 1,000 employee range, whereas I was below 500. But whenever I'm talking to him, it's never, just like for us, we were just chopping fiber day and night. Like fiber was our bread and butter because we have so much network here. Whereas him working in Ottawa with a Western company, they don't have the same network connectivity that we do here, right? And oftentimes when they're selling fiber, it's going to be one of either our network or Bell's network, right? So for him, this TELUS is really diversified in selling service and managed services rather than just that traditional telco route, right? So we're seeing a lot of different rises and a lot of different diversifications, and especially with Rogers, right? When you're buying Bell's half of the MSLE, the Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment Group, it really is showing that these companies are trying to diversify and not just be internet focused or telephony focused.
Yeah. So I'll add to that.
Yeah.
It sounds like you really understand the business too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, so it's very interesting because with that purchase of Rogers getting the Maple Leaf Sport and Entertainment Group from Bell, they're really heavily invested now in the entertainment and sports business, as well as the media landscape, where Bell's kind of taken a different direction and they're going more in the AI space. So that's something to watch.
It is. It's really interesting to see all these different diversifications between the different giants and which way they want to go, right? It really just goes to show that although everyone looks at these companies and thinks, oh, they're the same.
They're no longer the same.
Exactly. You could
for the first time in
not
history
have said it better. Exactly. And for the longest time, they all were, right? But that's part of the advancement of our technology, right? Like that's just, a lot of people will find, or a lot of companies will find one direction they want to go in. And, with the monopoly on telco in Canada, being that there's basically three, especially with Shaw being acquired by Rogers, another acquisition, right? There's the largest telecom acquisition in Canadian history. So it really does go to show that there's so many different ways that the world is going. And, you look at traditionally telephony, like it's not even, you don't use telephone lines anymore. It's all internet based, right? It's just showing the advancements, and especially with Bell moving in the AI space, Rogers moving more in the entertainment space, and cable. TELUS moving up with TELUS Health, which is now one of the largest
health providers
in the world. And that was actually oftentimes when I'd go open a deal with TELUS at the other side of the table, a lot of times clients would go with them because they just had that really unique product offering in TELUS Health.
Yeah, it's like a personalized touch when you need it most.
Exactly. It shows that they really care about their employees too, that they're offering this new health service, whereas, sometimes it can take you like a month to get an appointment at your GP. But I mean, that's conversation we'll hold off to the next time. But, why don't we talk a little bit about Prime benefits now? And, after being at a bigger company, what's it like now working for the family business?
Yeah, so I started at Prime not too long ago. It's an insurance brokerage in Ottawa focused on group benefits and pension plans. And I'd say, like, we say family business. That's true, although it's much more than that. There's a lot of valuable employees at the firm that are contributing and adding value to the company. So it's been great. I like working in a family-style office. You get to know people more on a personal level, especially in a smaller office setting. And we come into work 3 days a week, so I like coming into work.
Yeah, that's similar for me too. Especially now working at WorkAway, I definitely like the environment a little bit more than the corporate grind and the corporate, just go, 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 go. Whereas now it's much more personalized approach rather than, oftentimes you can feel like you get lost in the big machine that's going on because there's just so much going on all the time. But yeah, I definitely enjoy that and definitely enjoy it. And, moving back to what you said about being in the office, when I was at Rogers, I remember when we first went back into office 1 day a week. We moved into 1 day a week because we were fully remote, and then we moved to 1 day a week.
Yeah, I
remember just thinking, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be going in 1 day a week. But after week one, I was like, oh, I kind of like this. Like, I get to be social in office and talk to people and not, just staring at the same wall day after day after day, or messaging one of my team members on Teams, especially when you're new, working remotely, messaging a team member on Teams, and then, he's got to finish his nap first. He's got to wake up. He's got to go on his computer, and then he's got to message you back. So I definitely enjoy that. And then I just remember the disconnect, from waking up in the morning and then, driving to work, listening to music or the news, whatever I'm in the mood for that morning.
It's like you're getting ready for the day.
Exactly. And then on your way home, it's the same thing too. When you're driving home, it's the adverse because you're getting to unwind before you get home. So then when you get home, sometimes work comes home with you, and that's totally fine. But it
Usually does.
Usually does. But it's a good way to, help you unwind, or at least give you a nice long break, right? Because midday, you go on your lunchtime break, it can feel like you're trying to crush everything into one, and then you're like, oh, I have to go back. Whereas like now you're like, I'm driving home, but I get to work in my chair at my house. When you do bring it home, but I just to say that I find it's a really nice disconnect on the way back from work, and just a nice, kind of like a meditation almost. You're just driving, listen to your tunes or the news podcast, whatever you prefer, right? So now, is there something that you've really come to appreciate about a smaller, close-knit setting rather than the big boardrooms and the big office?
Yeah, I think obviously you touched on it. The difference between, so when I was working at Bell Canada, my great experience, the only thing that I found challenging though was that I was working pretty much remote, in the sense that I was pretty much the lone wolf in Ottawa. They make jokes about that. And the rest of the team was in Montreal, Toronto, or Calgary. And so I found that difficult barrier to kind of navigate at times. I think that trying to reach people when you're on WebEx or whatever platform you use at your company can be challenging at times when you're reaching out to people in different office settings. So I think working in a family office has been great in the sense that a lot of the team comes into work every day, looking at 4 days a week now.
Yeah.
And that way, you have those cooler chats, or you have,
Exactly.
if you have a question, you can just go over to somebody's desk. So I do appreciate that a lot.
Exactly. I remember when I was working at Rogers too, like I do like every day in the morning, I do my call blitzes. So like I'm trying to put out like 20 or 30 calls, right? Just to try and get someone's business. And those days where you just feel a little off and you're trying to do something, and just having someone, like, let's say someone behind you, and you're able to just turn around and be like, hey, what did you think of that call? Do you think, and then your buddy's like, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that. You could have asked for a meeting. You could have done this. You could have been a little bit more assertive. Maybe you came off a little too hyper or a little aggressive on the call, right? So I think that the water cooler chat is great, but it's also the personal development. I find being in a group near other people, being able to talk to them and, learn, right? Because there's people at Prime that have been doing it for how long and getting their experience, right? Especially as you're starting your career, like those are going to be the most important people to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of expertise at Prime. My dad, Dave Dickinson, and Tony Conte, they've been in the business a long time now. I'm not going to say how many years, but they're experienced guys. They know what they're doing. So to lean on them for advice is just exceptional. You learn so fast.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I know you're still new. You're still, getting your footing, getting the ropes. But where do you hope to see Prime go in the next few years?
So Prime Benefits was actually recently in a partnership acquisition with Westland Group, which is an insurance brokerage based out of BC. They're the fourth largest insurance brokerage firm in the country. I think with those resources, we still have the local expertise and the community aspect of it. But now we also have the bigger backing of a larger corporation to support us with growth. So I think that is something to watch.
Yeah. Especially help you, exponentially grow.
100%.
I think you guys definitely could have done it on your own, but having that backing of that giant just gives you a lot more confidence, I feel like, and it'll help it, go hopefully tenfold. I want to see you guys be the bigger than Great West Life, to be honest with you. I want to see you guys be, at the top, right? So where do you see yourself, and what role do you see in that growth?
So I'm in a business development and marketing role supporting growth. So I'm directly supporting new business opportunities for the company. I think in terms of growth strategy, there's so much untapped potential that we can still lock into, especially with the changing landscape of the insurance business, the media landscape, and just the economy in Canada. There's like what happens now in 5-10 years, those industries will be completely different, the leading industries. So I think in terms of growth, just focusing on building those key relationships and sales, connecting with the customer and building those key relationships, that's so important. And then marketing helps you elevate that strategy.
Exactly. You know, it's there's the one end of the marketing aspect of, you know, driving leads and driving people toward the business. But then in that BDR role, there's the aspect of, you know, you providing that face for the client to be that first contact. Like, hey, I'm Conrad, you know, it's nice to meet you and want to bring you in and, you know, actually do the business and, you know, make them feel comfortable and show them that you really care and that you want to help them be successful, right? Like that's the end goal.
And it takes time too. You can't expect to have overnight success. Relationships take time.
100%. Like Rome, I know this is an old saying, but Rome wasn't built overnight, right? Like it really was not. And I mean, to build, you know, relationships with these clients and build up your own book of clients, it 100%. So I definitely look forward to seeing, you know, you grow, and as you know, the OBC grows as well, to see in the next few years at the networking events, you know, how things are going. And I honestly can't wait to see it, man. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, no, me too.
Perfect. And then, you know, now that I've just mentioned them, why don't we talk a little bit about the OBC, and why don't you tell us a little bit about how the Ottawa Business Club got started?
So the OBC, the Ottawa Business Club, I started this about a year ago. In September last year, and we're actually having our 1 year celebration at TD Place now. It's September 8th. But I started this idea really at a running club. I thought I'm a big runner. I run half marathons, and I've always been passionate about running. But one of the things I like about running is the community aspect. So being a part of a community, and I saw a big opportunity when I was at a run club one time. I was just like, I'm passionate about business as well. Why aren't there too many networking clubs in the city? There are, don't get me wrong, but for young professionals, it's an untapped market. And I see the value in doing like a podcast like this too with young professionals, because you're reaching that audience and you're helping promote yourself and their brands too. So
yeah, 100%. And I think you hit the nail on the head there, because for example, like my dad and your dad have gone to this dinner, you know, where it's behind closed doors. It's a bunch of powerful men within the Ottawa business community who get together and they talk business. And it's funny. I was thinking about that myself. How can I do something like that? And I wanted to start something like that for young people, because I mean, no offense, Dad, but you and your friends are your dads, and your kids are in their mid-20s. So I'll let the audience do the math there, but it really goes to show. And then I remember our mutual friend Michael Coots. He posted on his story, and I was like, "What is this? This is like exactly what I wanted to start." And then I remember I just messaged him and I was like, "Hey, how do I get involved in this?" And he said, "You know, you obviously got to reserve your ticket online." And I remember just going to the first event, and a former friend of mine, Nick Morrison, his dad, Brian, was the one speaking. I remember I just remember seeing him and a lot of people that, because I went to private school in kindergarten. It was a lot of your friends that you went to school with as well. And I just remember seeing all these people and being like, okay, this is what's going on. I want to be a part of this in whatever capacity I can be in. And I haven't been the most present at these in the past couple times, but it's due to the fact that it's just selling out, and you know, tickets are being grabbed left, right, and center. It's hard to get sometimes. Like I remember the golf sim one. That was the one that I really wanted to go to.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
So let me take you through some of the events.
Yeah,
and
sure.
shout out to Michael Coots, by the way, for getting you involved in this. It's always I'm always happy to have more people come out, and it's very inclusive for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Come out to the events. You'll learn something new. But the first event was a real estate themed event. I had Rob Marland and Tony Rhodes come out, two great real estate agents in the city. And that was amazing in September last year. And then after that, I followed that up with an investment night, which you came out to. And we had Brian Morrison, James Fisher, and my friend Rob, his dad. And so BMO and CIBC was represented there. And then after that, we followed that up with a golf and networking night, or I think it was an afternoon, but that was at the Bunker, Ottawa. And that was awesome. After that, we did a summer social. We had two guest speakers. We had Zach Nielsen and Andrew Baker. Zach Nielsen's another real estate agent, and Andrew Baker works with Bell Media. He's the head of sales in Ottawa for Bell Media. And then now we're following that up with our 1 year celebration. So we're celebrating at TD Place. We have Brent Wallace, TSN journalist, and Coming In Hot podcast. And we have Emily Jameson, who's with CHIO. She's in philanthropy, community engagement. And we have Brock Murray, who's the co-founder of SEO Plus.
Yeah. And just again, I'm really excited and looking forward to this one because I'm getting my tickets this time. I'm going to make it. But you've done so many different things, and I guess that kind of leads me into what makes the OBC so unique from other networking groups in the city?
I think it's unique in the sense that it's for young professionals. It's an untapped market, and I think a lot of young professionals are just getting their feet wet in the business world. And sometimes they know what they want to do, sometimes they don't know what they want to do. But either way, you're coming out to these events. You could meet a friend, could meet a business colleague. You could meet a speaker who could land you a job. It's endless opportunities for you if you come out to these events.
Yeah, literally the world is your oyster when you come to these events because you don't know who you're going to meet.
It's something special. You meet somebody new every time, and it could lead to so much more.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the untapped potential there for sure. What's the biggest impact that the OBC's had on you so far?
I think it's a networking group, so obviously my network. I mean, I don't think a year ago today I'd be speaking at TD Place, one of the most iconic venues in Ottawa, talking to Brent Wallace, Emily Jameson, and Brock Murray, some amazing people in the business community. I probably wouldn't be doing that if I didn't start this thing. So just imagine where it's going to go in the next few years. Yeah. I'm really excited for it.
And I guess that speaks to your previous point too. How would you have met these people if it wasn't for networking and going out?
Exactly.
And meeting people, 100%.
So if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Exactly. Now, you've done a few different events, different styles, different, you've had the summer social, you've had the bunker. We've done it at the former Crafts Public House, which is no longer there. Do you have a favorite memory from one of these events?
That's a good question. I think just meeting new people. I don't have per se a favorite memory. I think my biggest draw is so let me take a step back for a second. It started out just basically my friends and I coming out to the first networking event. By the time I got to the TD Place event, which is the 1 year celebration happening next month in September, now I'd say half the guest list I never met before. And I barely had to reach out to people this time. The first time I was texting everybody I knew. I was just come out, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And it was, but this time around, I think it's even better. And we have a great partnership with Time Media, and they've been promoting our content too, doing digital content. So I think that's helped a lot too in the marketing space. That's just my marketing brain going off. But,
of course. But, you do it day in and day out, so why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, and it helps with Prime too. So
yeah,
I think just meeting new people, that's probably the best part of it.
And of these new people, I guess, who do you think really thrives in the club?
Yeah, like I said, it's inclusive to everybody. I think anybody can thrive, but the best way to position this question is, or my answer is to say, really, you want to be outgoing. You have to put yourself out there and dress for success. Put on your game face and, just be the best version of yourself, and good things will happen.
Yeah, smile, just be yourself. Honestly,
Be yourself and smile.
And I can speak to that personally too. Like my first time going in, the first person I met there was actually you. And I was going in and, you come up and I just, you smiled at me. I smiled at you. We shook hands. And then we found out that we both worked at, I was at Rogers, you were at Bell.
Yeah,
and then from there, the conversation just really flourished. And I was able to meet so many interesting individuals, which is, the perfect way to end this segment is if someone's on the fence about joining the OBC, what would you tell them and how would you convince them to join it?
Just do it. Nike. Just do it. You got nothing to be afraid of. You're gonna flourish in this. You'll meet new people, build new connections, learn something, and it's only gonna help you out. So that's what I would say. Also, in terms of my next steps for the OBC, I just thought I'd touch on that for a second.
For sure.
I think we'd like to do a podcast. I think here would be a great location, and maybe I could support you in the meantime too.
Yeah, thank you.
But also, I think the OBC is a place where business happens. So beyond the podcast, we'd really like to see it become like a place where business happens and host regular events more often and get more people out. So that's the goal.
Yeah, 100%. And I really want to help you grow that, and I'm going to do my best. Like I'm bringing 5 buddies of mine to the event this time who you've never met. So that's 5 new faces,
new
for
people.
You. And yeah, man. Well, I think that's this has been a great conversation, Conrad. I thank you for coming again, man. We really appreciate it. You can check out the Ottawa Business Club on Instagram. Also, Prime Benefits as well. You can look them up online if you're looking to switch your benefits provider. And obviously, here at WorkAway offices, we have this lovely studio that Conrad's gotten the pleasure of joining, and hopefully he's going to, in the future, book us in. So please go to all the websites you can that I've just mentioned and support us in the best ways you can.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jon.
No worries.